But what's the mood in Scotland then about this contest?
Well, I think you can imagine, Isabel, what the mood like is really in Scotland, because a lot of people very, very unhappy. Only 6 Conservative MPs in the country. So for 2 of the people in the leadership race to come out and say that they wouldn't have a second independence referendum within a decade is a real slap in the face to the majority of the country, which obviously voted SNP, and that's why we have a Scottish Government under SNP rule. So, yeah, a lot of people not very happy at all. I think obviously that will impact, you would think, perhaps on the leadership race, and certainly some people would look to the other candidates and say, well, what are you going to do about it? There's been lots of talk about, of course, tax cuts, but I think people in Scotland want something else. I spoke to some people earlier today to get their thoughts on what they thought about the independence referendum delay of potentially a decade.
It's already been nearly a decade since the last independence referendum, and in that time we've left the EU, having a cost of living crisis, we've had a pandemic, and I feel that quantifies a massive change in which I think the Scottish public should be able to vote again. Like, I was too young last time, and like all of my mates was massively pro-independent. So I think the Tories are scared that if they do allow another referendum, that they're not scared. They're a bit scared that they might lose it.
Absolutely disgraceful. It is. Scottish people should have the right to actually decide the future. Not two Tory MPs who probably don't even come from Scotland, but people in Scotland should actually decide their future.
If you remember that Nicola Sturgeon in the last election said, when the lady asked her, if I vote for independence, so when I vote for you to run us through COVID recovery, is this a vote for independence? She clearly said, no, vote for me. So I think politicians like to play it the way they want to play it, don't they?
So that's the views of the people there, but some MPs in Scotland have already nailed their colours to the mast in terms of the leadership race. We've got Aberdeenshire MP Andrew Bowie. He's confirmed he's voting Rishi Sunak. Borders MP John Lamont says he would vote for the Trade Minister Perry Mordaunt. So some people are already coming out and saying that. Earlier I spoke to the Conservative Party chairman Craig Foy, who says they need to work on getting voters back and prevent a second independence referendum.
I think there are definitely going to be some fences that will need mended, some bridges that will need some degree of rebuilding. But I think what's quite clear is that when it comes to this big issue here in Scotland now about the potential for another independence referendum, we're on the side of the majority of Scots. Don't forget, 60% of Scots do not want another independence referendum next year. So we're on the same page as the people in Scotland now. We just need to make sure that we reconnect with them after what has been a difficult period.
Yeah, so there we are, the thoughts of Craig Foy, the Conservative Party chairman there, but certainly sounds like plenty work to do for the Conservative Party, certainly to win voters over in Scotland.